Then the people rioted and they toppled the government. Because if you're going to starve me to death and freeze me to death and then lock me and deprive me of my car, right? You pretty much like ripped me back to the Stone Age, right? You're going to freeze to death, walk everywhere, and there's no food to eat. Why? Because it got excessive government intervention, right? These ESG policies that are totally irrational. So you can have irrational policies if you're rich.
Let's go into ESG, because this is actually super controversial.
Yeah,
but very interesting. So for somebody that doesn't know what an ESG policy is, what is ESG?
It's when I decide that say nuclear power is bad, but solar power is good, but natural gas is bad, but wind power is good. When you start to decide and dictate how people will generate energy, right? Or when I decide you can't use fertilizer in order to grow food.
Was that also a green decision?
Yeah, because fertilizers have phosphates in them, and they decide the phosphates are bad for the water, and so they didn't want people to not use them. So as the government starts to implement policies about how you will or will not produce food, how you will or will not produce energy or heat, what happens is ultimately they drive up the price of food, right? If you don't use fertilizer, then your crop yields get cut in half. If your crop yields get cut in half, food price doubles. If you're not allowed to use gasoline and you have to use a electric powered car, the cost of the car doubles. Crop prices, your food price doubles again. Now it's 4x as much. If I double the money supply by printing a bunch of money to give to someone to pursue some aim that I agree with, now the price doubles again. So I've increased the price of everything by a factor of 8.
How dangerous do you think this moment is for the U.S.?
It's pretty dangerous. We're the richest country in the world, though. So the U.S. Has the world's reserve currency. So if you think about the way the economy worked 24 months ago, the countries like countries like Russia and the like export $1 trillion worth of raw materials, like energy and metals and the like. And then countries like China export $1 trillion worth of products and services. And we pay for them by sending back $2 trillion worth of dollars. So what we do is we export $2 trillion worth of inflation, and they export $2 trillion worth of products and services and energy.